According to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, there are approximately 90,000 missing persons in the United States at any given time. With the advancement of modern detective work and advanced scientific methods, such as genealogy testing, the vast majority of missing person cases end up being solved today. Even so, sometimes investigators just aren't able to provide enough conclusive evidence to put the pieces together on some of these cases, and they go unsolved. There have been some devastating, very suspicious missing persons cases in recent times that definitely fall into this category. Throughout history, though, all around the world, certain missing person cases have left investigators and families struggling to find answers. When there is little evidence to no evidence and no eyewitnesses, missing persons cases tragically end up being closed and unsolved. Come with us as we walk through some of the most puzzling and tragic missing persons cases throughout history all around the globe. Snapping a selfie has become so commonplace nowadays that we don't even think about doing it. We just whip out our phone, snap a photo, and put it back in our pockets. But have you ever stopped to wonder what might happen if the photo you just took turned out to be your last? That was the case with these people who were caught on camera right before they vanished. Marco Siffredi. In 2001, Frenchman Marco Siffredi made history when he became the first man to snowboard down Mount Everest via the Norton Couloir, a gorge running down the mountain's northern face. Amazing as that is, Siffredi wasn't pleased. He wanted to snowboard down the Hornbien Couloir to the west of the summit, but there wasn't enough snow. Undeterred, he returned the following year. After more than 12 hours of climbing, Siffredi reached the summit but was exhausted and possibly disoriented from altitude sickness. This photo was snapped just before he took off down the mountain and was never seen again. Hannah Graham. This photograph is of Hannah Graham, a college student who was last seen walking down a hallway before going missing. Hannah went out partying one night and no one knew where she was until she texted some friends that she was lost and on her way to a party. Witnesses also claimed to have seen her at a diner and possibly being forced into an older man's car. Despite a thorough search, neither hide nor hair of her was found. Until 5 weeks after her disappearance, when her remains were located. The aforementioned older man, who'd only met her that night, was convicted of taking her life. Elsa Lam. This one has been covered extensively. If you would like, you can search YouTube, the internet, anywhere, and you will find stories among stories about this unfortunate case. This is just a small tidbit, but if you want to see more, I suggest just searching her name through YouTube. So, the young woman peering out of the elevator is 21-year-old Elsa Lam, a Canadian college student who was staying at the Cecil Hotel during a visit to Los Angeles. The full footage shows Elsa entering and exiting the elevator repeatedly and behaving erratically and fearfully, as if someone or something is after her. A model student, she went missing the same day this footage was taken and found only 3 weeks later inside one of the hotel's water tanks. How she got inside the tank or replaced its heavy lid is anyone's guess. Her passing remains unsolved to this day. Geraldine Largay. The woman pictured here looks so happy and it's heartbreaking to realize this is the last photo ever taken of her. She's Geraldine Largay, who decided to hike along the Appalachian Trail alone, and it was taken the morning she disappeared in July of 2013. She would remain missing for 2 years. Finally, her remains were discovered by an Animal Planet film crew shooting a documentary on a completely unrelated subject. Her journal was also found, showing that she'd survived 26 days in the wilderness and knew that she was about to perish. Tragically, she was only about 30 minutes away from civilization. Hari Simran. Knowing the backstory behind this selfie makes it heartbreaking. The man who took it, American yoga instructor Haru Simran, sent it to his wife during a shared vacation in Mexico, along with the caption, "Looking down on you." Wanting to go for a hike alone, he took it on a cliff overlooking their hotel. The photo would be his last. He later texted his wife again, saying he had walked too far and disappeared. His body was found 4 days later after a large-scale rescue operation, and it was reported he likely fell from a high cliff. Lisa Wu. Lisa Wu's disappearance has been dubbed Hawaii's most mysterious unsolved mystery. In 1982, Lisa, a 19-year-old hairdresser, left her boyfriend's sister's apartment after having dinner with them. It was the last time she would be seen alive. Hours later, her car was found on a highway with the window rolled down despite the downpour. 10 days later, her badly decaying remains were found at a completely different location. Disturbingly, witnesses reported seeing a car with flashing blue lights tailing Lisa's car. Could a cop or someone posing as one had been involved? We don't know, as this case has never been solved. Lisa Ann Froon and Chris Kremers. This perfect selfie shows Dutch tourists Lisa Ann Froon and Chris Kremers, all smiles as they were hiking through a jungle paradise in Panama in April of 2014. The two were supposed to be accompanied by a guide, but went into the dense woods a day earlier and simply vanished. Weeks later, some of their belongings were recovered, including their cell phones and camera. The phone showed they tried calling emergency services for 11 days, while the camera had a series of 90 photos taken in near complete darkness. Eventually, some of their skeletal remains were found, but to this day, no one knows what happened. An unknown hiker. This photo shows a stunning natural scene. It was taken opposite the famous granite dome known as Half Dome on the eastern end of Yosemite Valley in Yosemite National Park, California. The photo was the very last one snapped by an unnamed man who'd been missing for a month after hiking in the park. The photo came from his phone, which was found in his backpack at the top of a cliff. Tragically, the man's remains were located at the bottom of that cliff, and it's assumed he lost his footing and fell to his doom. Once again, I'd like to thank you for checking out my newest video. If you have any information on any of these cases, please contact your local authorities who can put you in touch with the authorities that would help. But I've been JPC, and I'll catch you in the next video.